Westgate Tutoring, and today we're going to go over the practice ACT exam that is on the ACT website, 1267C. In this lesson, we're going to go over questions 1 through 4, so take some time now and try to answer those on your own, and when you're done, come on back and we'll go over the 4 questions. All right, welcome back. Let's start with number 1. The weekly fee for staying at Pleasant Lake Campground is $20 per vehicle and $10 per person. Last year, weekly fees were paid for V vehicles, so I know that we're paying $20 per vehicle, so that's going to be times the number of vehicles, and $10 per person. So which expression gives the total amount in dollars collected for the weekly fees? This one is just as simple. It's $20 per vehicle is what the park collected. Every vehicle that came through, they got $20 for, and every person that came through, they got $10 for. So it's 10 times the number of people and 20 times the number of vehicles. So that would be answer A. Okay, question 2. If R equals 9, B equals 5, G equals -6, what does the following equal? In this case, you just plug in the values. What they're really working you here on is going to be adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers, which you do need to do because your calculator's not always reliable, because it can't always do order of operations. So I recommend doing these ones by hand rather than relying just on the calculator. So it's going to be -6, and then B plus G, so it's going to be 5 plus -6. Okay, so since we have addition and subtraction, we're going to go from left to right, just refreshing you on order of operations. Addition and subtraction are equals. We don't subtract mixed numbers, so I'm going to change those 2 symbols. And then we have 9 plus 5 is 14, plus 6 is 20. Keep your parentheses because we're solving inside parentheses first. And then 5 plus -6 is -1. Now that addition and subtraction is done, we can do multiplication. So 20 times -1 is -20. Your answer choice there should be F. Question number 3. Real typical on the ACT, they like to have you look at rates. And a rate is always per 1 unit, and these are given per 1 unit. So a copy machine makes 60 copies per, which in math language means over 1 minute, so per 1 minute. And a second copy machine makes 80 copies per 1 minute. So that's machine number 2. And then we know that the second machine starts making copies 2 minutes after the first, so don't forget that. That's going to be important. Both machines stop making copies after 8 minutes. So it looks like machine 1 gets to go for the first 8 minutes, so it's going to make 60 times 8 copies, 8 standing in for the minutes, so 60 times 8 minutes. And because machine 2 starts 2 minutes later, it's going to do 80 copies for only 6 minutes. And so our answer is going to be the sum of both of these. 60 times 8 is 480, plus 80 times 6 is also 480. And 480 plus 480, or 480 times 2, is 960. Your answer for question number 3 should be E. Okay. Question number 4. Now, if you were relying on my copy to do the questions, you may want to see if you can answer number 4, pause, and come back. Otherwise, if you did that one previously, you don't even need to hit pause. So I'm just going to pull this one up so we can see it. Okay. All right, here's the answer. This is an averaging question. You will have an averaging question pretty reliably on any test that you take. I never remember going through an ACT and not having an averaging question. So knowing the fundamentals of how this works and the fact that you can expect it on the test will help save you time. Okay, so here's how we do averaging questions. Marlon is bowling in a tournament, and these are his first 5 scores. In order to maintain this exact average, what must be the score in his 6th game? So the way that I handle this is you take, just like all averaging works by adding the sum of all the scores, 225 plus 254 plus 231 plus 280. Okay, I know we're running out of space here, sorry about that. And then you divide by the number of games, right? And that'll give you the average. So if you take your calculator and you add all these scores, you'll get 210 plus 225 plus 254 plus 231 plus 280. Okay, that equals a perfect 1200. So the numerator is 1200. So if he wants to maintain this average, we're going to divide by 5 to see what the average is. And it's 240. So when we divide by 5, 1200 divided by 5 equals an average of 240. So what must he get on the 6th game to maintain that average? So if he's going to make it 6 games now, and he wants an average of 240, you would just do an inverse operation, 240 times 6, and we know we're going to get a different number because before it was times 5. So that would change your numerator. He would have to have a numerator of 1400 to keep it 240. So basically what you can do is take the difference between these two numbers and know that his last score would have to be a 200 to maintain the 240, because 240 times 6 is 1,400, which means the sum of all the numbers up here must equal 1,400. Well, right now they equal 1,200, and the difference is 200. So your answer should be F200. And I know that a lot of people would probably just naturally answer 240. So that's how averaging problems work. If you struggled with any of these questions, go ahead and try them on your own again and see if they make sense. Maybe give it a day so you don't remember everything. And use this as a reference tool before you test. Every single one of the questions that we just went through right now are very typical questions on the ACT, and you're likely to see questions just like that in the first 30. All right, check back in and we'll do some more later.